Hi Edward students, Miss Vincent here, Artist the Heart, and today we are going to be working on dry brushing. Dry brushing is also known as scuppling and stippling, which is really cool. So normally what we do is we take our brush and we dip it into the water. We're not going to be doing that today, but we do need to get prepared. So first things first. Notice that I am wearing an apron. If you have an apron, go ahead and get an apron because you don't want to get all your clothes dirty in your house. Another thing, you want to get a container. These are the ones for our class, so we don't have those, but you can get a tin can. You can also get a jar and you can use that as well. Another thing that you want to do to get prepared is to get a rag. You want to get the rag and get it wet, that way you can use it for cleaning. In the supplies that we gave you guys, you should have like a paintbrush. I'll be using a bigger paintbrush. Remember, don't dip it in the water. We're just going to use that water and we're going to be cleaning it after. And you might also have a smaller brush. You can use any of these brushes, okay? So we're going to be using these brushes today. Now, you also would have received one of these paints. I gave a variety of paints, so some of you guys might have gotten a black one, a pink one, a blue one, a green one, or a beige one. These are our acrylic paints. Also, we gave out some watercolors. Watercolors are different than acrylic, so when we're working with acrylic, we don't need to add water, okay? When we're working with watercolors, we do want to add water. We'll be using these at a later date. So these are our watercolors. We're not going to use these today, so take these and leave them in your Ziploc bag, please. We're going to be working with these, and we're only going to be working with one color, which is called monochromatic, working with one color. And we're going to be working with one brush, okay? And we're going to be doing a dry brush technique. On the wall over here, you can see that I did a variety of different colors, so you can see what they look like, and also different kinds of techniques when I did it. Over there with the black one, I started at the top, and then I kind of moved my brush down in a wavy motion, and then at the bottom, that's where I did the stippling, and then in the light pink one, I brought it down, and then I did more of a texture like this. On the blue one, I brought it down slowly, and then I went back and made waves like that, and then I did the stippling. I wanted to kind of make it look like water because blue makes me think of water. It's also my favorite color. And then on the green one, I was thinking more like, what is green in nature? And it made me think of bamboo. Finally, on the orange one, I was working more not just in the vertical kind of sense. I was starting at the bottom, and I did some ones that went diagonal, then I swished it back and forth and went in the other direction. And I was just playing with like all the colors and directions. And at the top, I didn't just go like in the terms of the stippling, going in one direction, but I went one direction, twisted it, and went otherwise. I was really playing with the brush and the paints. Okay, so now it's time for us to get busy. So, how do we create a palette? We're not in the art room. Easy peasy, papa freezy. We are going to create our own palette. In your Ziploc bag that we gave you for our Braille students, we gave you lots of paper. So I'm going to show you how to create your own palette the old-fashioned way. Okay, so we're going to be very resourceful. We're going to take our paper and we're going to fold it in half. Ding! We're going to take a pair of scissors and we are going to cut it. It doesn't need to be perfect. Done. Okay, now we are only going to paint one this big. That way we can really work with our paint and not use as much paint. And then now we're going to take this, and this is going to become our palette. We're going to fold it in half. This way we don't also use a lot of paint. We're going to really make sure that we're not using too much paint, okay? Sometimes in our paint room we use a lot of paint, and then the TAs would be like taking the scraper and be like, oh, so much paint. Okay, I'm gonna show you how much paint I want you guys to use. Over here on my palette, you guys can see that I didn't really use very much paint. Okay, so I'm gonna use a different color. This one looks like a raspberry, okay? It looks like raspberry, but it's not raspberry. Remember, we don't eat our paint. Thank you very much. First, when you get this paint, you wanna make sure you shake it up. That way, all of the colors and any of the different pigments get mixed together first before it goes onto your paper. Next, I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna start very little. Look at how little I start with. You can start with very little, then you can add more to it later. All right. Now, next thing, I'm gonna start with my dry brush. Do not dip it into the water. Okay, first, when I do this, I am going to start by, hold on one second. I'm gonna put a little tape underneath this so you can see as I go. Note that I'm also gonna put a bigger paper underneath this, so when I am painting, I'm not getting my table dirty. All right. I want to show more of the direction on this, and then I'm going to be taking this on the bottom and doing the stippling. So I'm going to start with the dry brush of scubbling at the top, and then I'm going to do the stippling at the bottom. Okay, here we go. This time I kind of want to do a little curves like this. So I'm really, and you can see the dry brush. So it starts with more paint at the top, and then I'm really getting that dry brush. You can see as it really starts to change. Dip it back in there. So now you can see it changing as it goes, and when it starts changing, I'm gonna go ahead and add more. I'm gonna see what happens when I change the direction of my brush. So what I did is I'm changing it and I'm making it change direction as I go. All right. Okay. Now I've really done that a lot over here where it starts thicker up here, and then as it goes, I'm turning my brush. So I'm kind of really playing with how the brush strokes work. Okay, I'm gonna come back up here, and I really wanna have it a little bit more thick here, and I'm gonna turn it. I'm gonna do that again, thick and turn, because I really like how that's looking. All right, so I noticed I'm a little bit out of paint, and I'm gonna give myself permission to give myself more paint. It's better to start off with less and then add a little bit more. All right, there we go. Don't dip it into the water. Okay, so now what I wanna do is I'm gonna play with just doing some textures with my brush. I'm just gonna use the tip of it. Well, that looks kind of pretty cool. Okay, now what would happen if I turn my brush back and forth? And now I'm not gonna dip it into the paint again. I wanna see what happens as it dries, as I go. That's neat. Okay, what happens if I add some of those and have it a little bit thicker? I'm really pressing that into there. Oh, okay. So this is really like abstract art. Abstract art means it does not represent anything. This is non-representational. Does not represent anything in nature. It is abstract, meaning it just is what it is. So just let the paint become what it is. Let your expression be. So as you're doing this, let your hand and the paint create. And if you feel like you want to do something, let it. So up here, you're letting the brush and the dry brush create something. Over here, you're kind of bouncing the brush as you do it. All right. This was fun. When I'm all done though, you don't want your brush to get ruined. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take the tape, if you have tape on it, then what you can do is I'm gonna take my brush for 1 second. I'm gonna put it down on my wet rag. And on my wall, I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna put it. I already have a piece of paper up here on the wall so it doesn't ruin my wall. I'm gonna tape it up here so my family can enjoy it. And now I'm gonna clean up because I don't wanna ruin my brush with the acrylic paint or any other paints. That's why the water's in here. So I'm gonna clean my brush. Very good. With that water. Then I'm gonna check and make sure it's really clean with my rag. Nice. Okay, then afterwards I'll go to my sink and I'll empty out my water, and then I'll make sure that my rag is pointed up and that my rag is also clean. So it was nice painting with you guys, and I look forward to doing it with you later. Remember, art is the heart, and it's the heart of your family. Enjoy painting. Again, talk to you guys later. Bye from Miss Vincent.